Good morning, people. Just another glorious, beautiful day that God's been able to bless us with. Don't really got too much to talk about, but I got a little bit, man. I'll quiet you. My dog's freaking out because it's the first thing in the morning. He likes to roll around and just do crazy shit. Yeah, there he is. Um, let's talk about this Agent Wilkins, right? This dude pops up, which I was talking a couple months ago, or about a month or two ago, about digital schizophrenia. When I'm talking about digital schizophrenia is when people have actually, I wouldn't even call it digital schizophrenia. I'll call it digital personality disorder, where people have so many catfish accounts, trying to achieve the idea that they're a big force of people. I noticed something on the writing styles, man. All the writing styles are the same wording, same terminology, that type of shit. Point of the matter is the one dude said he was this guy. Go look into this dude. Turns out the guy he's claiming to be is a cold case murder of a cop that happened in Akron, Ohio, in 2001. So I know this because the first time he harassed me, I immediately go ahead and checked his information. I called the Akron Police Department myself. And I asked them about the detail after I already did some looking into the name. Like I already Google searched the name and brought up some shit to verify what I was seeing was exactly what was going on at that department. Now I'm not a cop, dude. I'm just a dude who got tired of motherfuckers following me around and invading my personal life all the goddamn time like it was their right. So, I used to be a criminal, and while I was a criminal, one of the biggest things you could do is think like your enemy. Well, now that I'm not a criminal, I use the same type of tactics to think like my enemy, the ones trying to suppress me, the ones trying to bring me down. So, I employ those tactics. Anything from, I had a job where I worked outside holding a sign. I used to have I bought a little cheap ass, camera with the fucking a little micro camera to take with me just because I was experiencing some phenomenons that was very odd. And after I got off the drugs, kind of needed a hobby. So, that's important. So, anyways, I'm not going to dwell too much on that. I was watching something last night, and it was the Mystic Rose 1111 and her tarot readings, and talking about, she was talking about a gratitude list, and I've been talking a lot about gratitude lately, and how it affects people, and from my own perspective and my own experience, what I've noticed is, when you complete change, the one thing my mom said to me a couple days ago, by the way, Chief Handler, you're a lie, dude. I just didn't. We had a date picked out to go see my parents. So, you jumping the gun on Thanksgiving just made you look fucking incredibly stupid. So, yeah, your intel is not as good as you think. You're only getting bits and pieces of information and running with it. So anything that suits your agenda. Not the whole truth, just parts of it. So, I'm up there with my parents. Now, mind you, my mom and dad have seen me in active abuse for shit. Pretty much since I started using. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, they've seen me lose dramatic amounts of weight, fucking be completely drunk all the time, all these little things that I used to basically do on a daily basis, right? My mom said that, sorry, I just got up a little while ago, so I'm getting sleep out my eyes. My mom said that I look good. And what she means by that is I have the color back in my skin. I'm at a reasonable weight. I lost some weight, but it's like the difference between tweaker skinny or drug addict skinny versus someone who works out and eats right is like night and day. So, when the people closest to me can tell a difference, that shows that this program works a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it works a whole lot if you really get into it and you start exploring yourself and work the steps and work all that type of stuff, man. Recovery has given me something that I never had in active abuse. And now I have a voice. And that voice I'm using to just set the world correct. You know, not even the world, man. I'm trying to spread the love so people that are afflicted by this disease can possibly get some help. The reason why I quote Mystic Rose 1111 is because she has been through the program. She has, you can tell the people that used to be addicts and are not anymore. You know, it's a sixth sense type thing. You can pick up on it. Even I can tell people nowadays that are struggling with it, and I usually just recommend a meeting and be like, hey man, this is where you can go to. So, that's the cool thing. You know, the people closest to me are seeing that I've changed a lot. And these are the same people that threw me out to the streets because I was living wrong. And that is, you know, the beauty of this program. Sorry, my dog's getting antsy because it's morning time and I'm awake and he wants to play. So, with that being said, the more I try to spread this, the more I keep getting haters in the comments. But it's the same one hater. Like I don't think it's more than one person. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to mimic and act like it's more than one person. And that's the problem. You got someone that wants to be you. You ever have that? I've had it several times in my life, way before the internet even happened. People that wanted my life, wanted my girl, wanted this aspect. They want all the good aspects of my life, but don't want to carry the extra baggage I've had to carry over the last fucking 20-something years. You know? So, with that being said, it's just one of those crazy things. Look at this old monster right here. Look at him. He's cute, ain't he? There are all these little crazy things that happen, and you know, people try to come at you. They're trying to hold a narrative on you. You know what I'm saying? The narrative that I am is I'm unstable, mentally ill, and fucking drug addicted, right? Well, I'm definitely not drug addicted anymore for a long time. I don't even drink alcohol no more. So, you can miss me with that. I do have a counselor, and I have been working through my trauma. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go see him here in a little bit. I'm working through my past trauma. All the stuff that's happened with me. And, you know, just saying someone's a schizophrenic to fit your agenda, dude, doesn't work. And we don't have to show you our medical receipts because it's a law called HIPAA. Every person who goes to a hospital has the same rights as everyone else. So we don't have to show you our this, that, and the proof, especially from people that won't even show their face and asking for our types of records and shit. You sound like a hacker and a fisher, dude. You know? And the more I realize, like, all you come with is the same damn insults over and over again. Like, yeah, I'm poor. Get the fuck out of here. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, remember that you're poor and inferior is what Chief Handler told. Remember that you're poor and inferior. You got to remember that, because if you don't, then my narrative won't stick. Bro, I may not have a bunch of money, but I got a lot of respect and I got a lot of love from people. Real people. Not internet people. Not fucking catfishes and AIs and shit like that. Genuine flesh and blood, you know? Does it bother me? I mean, you have someone intentionally trying to bring up old wounds to try to get me to fuck up and go get drunk and high. And intentionally targeted me on Thanksgiving, knowing that, you know, that's a troubled time for most addicts, you know? What you don't understand is I made a decision. So because I made that decision, I'm sticking with my decision. It doesn't matter what holiday it is. Jesus' birthday, it don't fucking matter, man. Every day is the same for me. when it comes down to it. Don't pick up, don't drink or use. And the more I spread this, the more it irks you. Why is that? Because you built a fucking house of cards of lies on me. And you've been trying to fit this narrative since I moved to fucking Maryland. You know? What's some of the rumors? Let's dispel some of the rumors. I was on the most wanted in Leesburg. I've already went to jail for that time, so that one's not going to work. I don't sell drugs or use drugs anymore, so that's not going to work. As a matter of fact, everything I do is pretty much by the books nowadays. So it's just funny, man. You know, I've been talking about this phenomenon with just people for a little while. And then I start seeing some things on the internet, people similar, kind of like the AA rooms. I'm like, this is fucking weird. We're all experiencing, you know, they're saying all of us are schizophrenic, but we're all experiencing the same generalized hallucination. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. That doesn't happen. If anybody knows anything about psychology, dude, a schizophrenic will have hallucinations, but they'll be personal, right? They'll be for the person, right? Not everybody experiencing, hey, what the fuck, dude, this is weird, my phone's tapped, and this, that, and the third. By the way, I can prove, based on number codes, I can prove in court, if I needed to, that my phone has been hacked for a long time. The # number codes is a diagnostic for your cell phone to show if your emails or text messages or your phone calls are being rerouted somewhere. I can totally prove that. So dispel that as myth is you're just trying to gaslight me. And that's the funny thing is your main tool is gaslighting people. Trying to make them believe something that's not happening. You're a sick motherfucker. Something's wrong with you in the head. The fact that you target people that try to spit the truth shows me that you're trying to cover this shit up. The more I get attacked, the more I know I'm on the right path. The fact that I see a lot of the disinformation that I put out there for the last 4 or 5 years coming back to me, that was all a test. I was like, wow, these motherfuckers really grabbed my phone at work, put a number code in to hack my phone. That could be brought up, and I'm sure Dunkin' Donuts has all their security camera on, all their footage somewhere backed up in a data mill somewhere. It shouldn't be hard to bring that where somebody actually grabbed my phone, accessed it, touched it. His name was Brian, actually. I still, after all these years, I remember your name, and Levi was working that day too at work. Huh, weird. Or are we going to talk about the day when fucking national security, Homeland Security came to us in the morning time? It's weird why we have Homeland Security poking around. At 4 a.m., that's fucking odd, right? Anyways, you want to talk about it, we can talk about it, man. Because I also noticed an influx in the last 4 years of this type of behavior happening when students from college would be home for the holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all that. Or summer break. Which would be the influx when I was working the job. I noticed that when I worked the sign job. Which, by the way, man, when we talk about that, that was a W-2 job. I actually made a decent amount of money at it, plus commission. And I had the brutal elements like soldiers in fucking war. Whether from extreme cold to thunderstorms, rain. I mean, be out there when it's raining and 40 degrees out there. Those two guys I work with, Bill and Larry, them two motherfuckers are some of the strongest old men I've ever met in my lifetime, bro. Bill's 60-something years old and still walks everywhere and still is pretty physically fit. You know what I'm saying? Larry, too, man. And the fact of the matter is, like, I have a joke called All Terrain, dude. I got that training on how to be observant, how to be watching your surroundings at all fucking times to make sure no harm comes to you. And we had a day where people drove by the place and shot at us. Yes, it happened. Even CarMax came out and was like, what the fuck was that? That sounds like those were gunshots. Not my first rodeo. Like, not to be a dick, but that's what I said. Um, yeah. And where were the police that day? The police never came. Y'all came to yell at me about me being on a megaphone and disturbing the peace, but y'all didn't come when fucking people shot at me. That's a little weird. I also didn't call because at that point I'm like, fuck it, dude. They're not doing anything. Why would I even try? You know what I'm saying? Now through recovery, I tried to handle it one way. Like that. Like a normal citizen, and all they did was gaslight the fuck out of me. Thus proving that this whole shit goes even higher than what we think it does. Really, my experience started right after the election, where Trump lost and Biden won. As if people in my community were keeping tabs on their political enemies. Well, yeah, they have a word for that, I think. But we're not going to even go there. Point of the matter is, y'all trying to use the system to hit an agenda, right? Look, I moved, and I also noticed too, the similarities I'm finding, it's when people move from one place and they move to like a small town, it seems to be more in the small towns. I don't think they do this type of shit in the city because it's too many people, man. You know? Or maybe they do, and it's just because there's so many people, we just can't notice it. I don't know. It's a lot to carry, man. I gotta go make some coffee, man. I'm still kind of trying to wake up, man, because I don't know. I got some good sleep last night, though. Like, I had some weird ass dreams, too, man. I actually had prison dreams last night, which is fucking odd. Not nightmares. Like, it wasn't terrifying. It was like stupid shit, like making noodles and... You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? I'm making noodles and playing spades and shit, dude. Like, it wasn't no, like... I have post-traumatic stress, like, dreams where, like, some of the traumatic shit I've seen inside prison or been through fights and shit like that. But this wasn't a dream like that. It was literally like me sitting in fucking jail playing cards. Like making fucking ramen soups and shit. Like, it was dumb, dude. I woke up and it was kind of like, well, at least it wasn't terrifying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just sitting there playing soups. It's not like I'm sitting there getting cut the fuck up, beat up, or none of that shit. So, what? Okay, well, he's saying I gotta get off. So, I gotta go play with him and do something else. Yeah, I know. Alright, well, y'all have a good day, man. I'm pretty much out of topic. I'm at 17 minutes on this thing. It's going to take forever to load today. So, I will talk to y'all later. Have a blessed one.